Tuesday, October 10th, 2023, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So, I told you I was going away with my nephew and a friend of his on a golf holiday. So, I am in Turkey, actually. You can probably see the Mediterranean behind me. We are in a place called Belek. I flew to Antalya airport from Gatwick. Pretty smooth flight. Had to get up quite early to take a 6:20 a.m. flight. So yeah, Turkey is a couple of hours ahead of the UK, so 7 hours ahead of Eastern time. You probably have seen that I published a video earlier today. It was a paid promotion, and yeah, I think Atha Energy is a very interesting company. But back to Turkey and my first impressions. It's the first time I've been to Turkey. It's very hot here, even though it's relatively warm in London. It doesn't compare to here. And the first thing you notice when you land in Antalya, which is in the, I would say, southern, middle, central Turkey, Anatolia, or Asia Minor, if you want to call it. That is very bright. It's relatively dry, but it's a beautiful place. There's some mountains in the distance. It's very flat here, and there's loads of golf courses around here. It's called Golfer's Paradise, I think. And my nephew, his friend, and I, we're gonna play tomorrow and the next 6 days. So we're gonna be playing a lot of golf. We arrived around midday. Had to wait a little bit to get our rooms. And one thing that happened is I forgot to bring a few of my eye drops because of my operation. So I had to have a word with reception. Young guy there was really helpful. We were able to get everything, but I had to get a taxi into the nearest shopping area and to get one of the eye drops. The other one, they were able to ship it. And I was talking to the young guy in the reception, and I asked, how much is it going to be? And one thing I noticed here is that everyone talks in euros. And I actually exchanged some pounds into Turkish Lira, and I think that was not a mistake, but I think they prefer the euro here. They might take dollars, but everyone talks in euros. And I said to the guy, it's difficult to keep track of what you're going to spend, because I went down in the near the swimming pool to buy an adapter for my plugs. And the guy said 200 lira. And I thought, that seems a little bit too much. So I haggled with him. I said 150. And he said 180. So I got it for 180. And I told the guy in the reception, it's difficult to keep track. And he said, well, it's difficult for me too. And actually, we started talking about inflation. And he said, yeah, the government is stealing from us. I said, you're right. Inflation is theft. And he said taxes are very high as well. And he said it's really hard to live on the wage he earns. And I left a tip. There's a tip box in the reception for him because he helped me a lot. I had to get a cab. The cab was, it wasn't very far, but he took me there, dropped me by the pharmacy where I could get my drops, waited for me, really nice cab driver, brought me back, and that was 600 lira, Turkish lira, which is about 20 pounds. So I didn't mind giving him that much because he was helpful, but I'm sure he did quite well from that. So the impression I get here is that yeah, the Turkish lira is on the way to Weimarization or hyperinflation, I would say. And it's sad because there's a lot of foreigners in this complex. There's a lot of other hotels down the strip, and there's a lot of Russians, a lot of Scandinavians, Germans, and I guess, and Brits as well, a lot of Brits. For us, it's very cheap, and it reminds me of what happened in the 1920s in Germany, Weimar Germany. The tourists, they used to come with dollars or pounds and think everything was really cheap, while the locals were struggling and were clamoring for the hard currency. Yes, the pound, the euro, and the dollar even are not hard currencies, but relative to the Turkish lira, it is. So, yeah, the Turkish lira has really devalued in the last 3-4 years, and I think what happened in 2020, 2021 didn't help, and I think a lot of these countries that are not as, how can I say, in the club, where the central banks are able to control their currencies through the Fed, but the Bank of England, their gold holdings. It's tough because their currencies are devalued massively, and at the same time, the price of everything that you need, like energy, food, doesn't go down. So it's very tough. I mean, you can see here that this complex, this hotel complex, needs a lot of energy. There's air conditioning, everything, and I would imagine a lot of the costs here and the revenues that come from abroad, a lot of the costs are covered. You know, it covers costs like maintenance and stuff, and there's little left for the average worker. So that's the first impression I get. And what about what's happening in the rest of the world? Well, I noticed that treasury yields dropped quite a bit today. Markets were closed yesterday for a holiday. I think they dropped like 12 or 14 basis points, and I haven't really looked very closely, but the talk is that people are buying treasuries on safe haven because of what's happening in the Middle East. Well, I also saw that the Atlanta Fed President Bostic said that they're done with raising rates. Of course, he's just one Fed president, so it doesn't mean that much. And I see that there is a bit of volatility in gold. We traded up earlier today, I think, to 1866, and recently has dropped a little bit. I'm not concerned, and unfortunately, I think the whole world is going to go the way of Turkey in terms of the currency. Of course, there's much more than just the economic situation from outside. I think there is corruption everywhere, and it's probably the same here from what I the feeling I got from talking to the young guy at the reception. And so I told him, what about gold? He said, well, yeah, gold is good, but everyday currency, we need the euro because it's difficult to keep track. The Turkish lira is losing so much value. I think it's gone from below 10 lira for the pound prior to 2018, 2017, and we're now almost at 35. So unfortunately, yeah, as I said, I think it's what's going to happen everywhere. The Wi-Fi here isn't great because there's so many people here, but I found out that if I go downstairs to the lobby, it's better. So tomorrow I'll get up really early, and or the next day I have another video that I'm going to post tomorrow that you'll probably see. It was an interview I did with Mark O'Byrne, who founded Goldcore, which was still is one of the biggest bullion dealers in Ireland. He's sold his share of that business, and he's starting a really new interesting new business that I recommend, yeah, you watch that interview, which I'll post tomorrow. So with that, I'm going to wish you all a very good day. Take care. Bye.